Page 11, 8 lines from the top of the page. מתני לה רב יהודה לחיה ברב קמי דרב. אינו צריך למעט. If the מבוי has a צורת הפתח, so you don't need to reduce the in the side of the 10 אמות. אמר לרב, אתנה יהיה צריך למעט. He said, my son, you need to change the girsa, and you need to say that he needs to reduce the 10. אמר רב יוסף, מדברי רבינו נלמד, we can derive from the teaching of our Rav, חצר שרובה פתחים וחלונות. If there is a yard that carries many windows, many entrances, אינה ניתרת בצורת הפתח. Even they have the other part, the entrance, this one, it's not enough to have צורת הפתח. מה טעמה? What's the reason? הואיל ויותר מ10 אוסר במבוי, ופרוץ מרובה על העומד אוסר בחצר. So he explained that because they have a 10 amot, and because there is 10 cubit, it's rendered, so it's prohibited to carry in the alleyway. And the same way we said yesterday, when you have the breach segment of a wall that is greater than the standing segment, so it renders prohibited for one to carry in a courtyard. And he said the key point is that partition mechitza is okay to make it, even that they have some spot that it's open, but it's only when it's open as a regular entrance, and not because something happened toward the damage that someone carried or because of the weather condition. It's just because naturally it's a regular entrance. Why we hold that petition mechitza, that's the way they do it. They carry some entrances, that's the way they put it. So even that you see some opening in some spot in a mechitza, we call it in halacha satum. It's like a close, and therefore it's only apply if you carry it as an entrance. And he said, מה יותר מ10 האוסר במבוי אינו ניתן בצורת הפתח. He said the same way, just as according to the Rav, more than 10 cubit wide, that renders is prohibited for one to carry in an alleyway. So carrying in an alleyway is not permitted by the form of a doorways. It's an opening. So too, the same way, in the case, אף פרוץ מרובה על העומד, האוסר בחצר אינו ניתן בצורת הפתח. So the case that breaches segment of a wall is greater than its standing segment, so that renders is prohibited to one to carry in a courtyard. Carrying a courtyard is not permitted by the form of a doorway in the opening, because the way that they make this tzurat petach, it's not made out of just a little hole. But the Gemara rejected that, and it said, mal yoter me10. If you talk about more opening, that it's more than 10 cubit wide, haoser b'mavoi, that it's basically carried a prohibition in an alleyway, which means that the tzurat petach, the way that we put it as an entrance, will not allow him to use it, because it's invalid. שכן לא היתרת בו אצל פסי ביראות לרבי מאיר. It's because, as we said yesterday, when you have this pasei biraot, the board surrounding the well, so you say that even that the sages are very lenient when it's come to pasei biraot, but pasei biraot is those, if you remember the picture of the cows, right? So that's allowed to carry around that well. תאמר בפרוץ מרובה על העומד האוסר בחצר שכן התרת, אצל פרסי ביראות לדברי הכל, which means even according to Rabbi Meir, in this פרסי ביראות, let me show you the picture, the large part, it's more than the small part. Okay, this is the picture number 74. If you look at the picture, this is the well. So the opening spot, it's larger than the other spot. Okay, so according to so which one has one pass? This is one and this is one, and altogether, if you remember yesterday, we said that it's 1 1/3, so it's a 13 1/3. So in between you have 10 amot. So that's the way you can make it. So in short, what you said is, in conclusion, that Tzurat HaPetach, it's up to 10. Parutz merubeh al haomed, it's not considering a kotel, a wall. According to Rabbi Yehuda, you need to have 13 1/3. And according to Rabbi Meir, you make a little mathematics. You have 6 times 1. And then you add a 6 times 2/3. And it's all together up to 10. That's Rabbi Meir's point of view. Leima mesayale. So we bring a source to word of Rav Yosef, that he said that the Tzurat HaPetach will not help when is the parutz is more than merubeh. And he said, Dfanot halalu sherubam, this type of wall that it's surrounding, that most of them ptachim vechalonot, most of them has entrance and windows. Mutar ubilvad sheyeh haomed merubeh al haparutz. You're allowed to carry inside as long as that the standing segment are greater than the breach segments. So now the Gemara asks, Sheruban salkadatach, you mean to say most of them? Ela eima sheriba bahen ptachim v'chalonot, that he put many entrance and windows, ubilvad sheyeh omed merubeh al haparutz. And as long as the standing segment are greater than the breach segment. So if the breach segment are greater than the standing segment, carrying is not permitted, even if the breaches are a form of the doorway. Amar Rav Kahana, the Gemara rejected that and said, Kitanya ahi, this braita we learn bepitchei shima'ei. So pitchei shima'ei, there are several explanations. The key point is, like shima'ei, it's broken entrance. So if you look at the picture 84, you see here that it's not real entrance. You have, and it's entrance, but it's not a full normal regular type of entrance. So he said, Plige barav v'chume barav Yosef, chad amar let lu shikfei, v'chad amar let lu tikra. There's a machloket here. One
so
said,
they're saying it's not. It looks more like a breach than an opening.
More breach.
Yeah. Okay.
So he said, so Rashi said, mezuzot shenecheltzu avaneim mikan umikan. If they take the stone from both sides, even yotzet ve'even nichneset. One stone is out, one stone is in. Ve'in ze tzurat hapetach. That's not the regular entrance. Or he said the other way is the late tikra. You don't have the top. She'en klum binyan lemala min hapetach. You don't have anything in that entrance. So that's in order to have
so there's no lechi or korah there in that example.
You may say that there are two lechayim.
Well, that's just part of the wall. I mean, it's
yes, but korah you don't have. You don't have the tzurat hapetach. You don't have that the segment of tzurat hapetach.
But doesn't like a lechi have to have at least protrude into the?
Yes.
So there's really no lechi there then, because it's not protruding into the public domain.
The issue here is not lechi. It's the if it's considering tzurat hapetach, if it's look like a petach.
Well, but that's what I'm saying, is if there's no post and no korah, then it doesn't look like an entrance.
In order for us to consider that as a petach, we need to have something that up to 10.
Right.
And Tzurat HaPetach doesn't help if it's the space is more than 10.
Exactly. Okay.
ואמר רבי יוחנן, סבר לה להדרב, Rabbi Yochanan hold that he hold the same as Rav, that Tzurat HaPetach doesn't help to a more than 10 amot. דאמר רבין, we are at the mid of page 11. דאמר רבין ברבא, דאמר רבי יצחק, מעשה באדם אחד מבקעת בית חורתן, שנעץ 4 קונדסין ב4 פינות השדה ומתח זמורה עליהם, ובא מעשה לפני חכמים והתירו לו לעניין כלאיים. Let me share with you some insight of these halachot. Okay. Basically here is a plant. Someone planting a field. Now, we're not allowed to plant a vineyard close to a place that you have, for example, cucumbers. Only if you have petition, mechitza, between them. Without this wall between them, mixing, it's called kilaim. So now we try to juxtapose to our discussion. What happened here, he put this fellow from Bikat Bet Dotan, he did this part of Mechitza, but if you look carefully, you see these poles, he put at Zmora, this little part at the top of the pole. Right? So it looks like Tzurat HaPetach. It looks like Tzurat HaPetach, the way that he put it. So, ואמר ריש לקיש, כדרך שהתירו לו לעניין כלאיים, כך התירו לו לעניין שבת. The same ways that they allow him to make this as a petition, as a separation, in order to avoid mixture. As we said in כלאיים, you have the issue of mixture. So he said the same apply to Shabbat. רבי יוחנן אמר לכלאיים התירו לו, לשבת לא התירו לו. To make this צורת הפתח instead of petition, they allow him for כלאיים, but did not allow him for Shabbat. ומה יסקינן? אילמה מן הצד, if you tell me that they did it from the side, okay? So what happened on the side? So here, again, ואמר רב חיסדא, צורת הפתח שעשה מן הצד, לא עשה ולא כלום. רש"י, שמתח הזמורה מזה ומזה באמצעיתו, ולא על ראשיהם. So Rav Chisda said that if he put this line, you see this is one field, this is another field. He separated them by putting this, but he didn't put it at the top, the way that he did it here, but he put it here, on this part. So he said, since he put it here and not at the top, according to Rav Chisda, it's not make it as a kosher petition and kosher tzurat hapetach. Ubemai, and what type of situation we talk about? Ileima be'eser, if you tell me that the length is a 10 amot, behaleima Rabbi Yochanan b'Shabbat lo. Rabbi Yochanan said clearly that you cannot depend on that on Shabbat. El alav biyater me'eser, that Tzurat HaPetach is more than 10. So they rejected, said, lo, le'olam be'eser. Ubinatzad, Rav Chisda kamifligei. So basically, if you talk a practical halacha, Tzurat HaPetach, that you make it from the side, it's not kosher for the purpose of Shabbat. That the Sin Samech Bet, the 362 Shulchan Aruch said. So therefore, when they make Tzurat HaPetach in order to carry on Shabbat, you have to be careful that it's always on the top of the pole. If you pay attention, when Rav Heinemann was here, and he is expert in Eiruvin, we always pointed out that they put it on those poles, on the top of those poles. Otherwise, you need to, if you lower it, it's an issue, you need to make a new appearance in order to use it as a Eiruv. So he said, Verami de Rabbi Yochanan de Rabbi Yochanan, V'Rami dereish Lakish dereish Lakish is a contradiction between Rabbi Yochanan to Rabbi Yochanan, Reish Lakish to Reish Lakish. So, according to what you said, that Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish disagree in regards to the din, the halacha of Tzurat HaPetach, that he made it from the side. Amar Reish Lakish mishum Rabbi Yehuda beRabbi Chanina. So we turn to 11b. Pe'ah muteret linyan kilayin, אבל לא לשבת. So we said that the brain of vines placed around the poles for the partition is permitted in regards to kilaim. So it's considered a partition, but not in Shabbat. So he said that if you made this type of Tzurat HaPetach in Shabbat, you cannot carry in that. Rabbi Yochanan Amar, כי מחיצות לשבת דלא, כך מחיצות לכיליים דלא. Rabbi Yochanan hold the same ways that you don't make this petition for Shabbat, the same, it's not considering as a petition for kilayim. So it means that regardless of Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish, the story of Bikat Bechortan contradicted to what they said. So in the same ways that Reish Lakish allowed the Tzurat HaPetach, that made this Zmora, in that sense, in that place, from kundas to kundas, from one to another. So he said the same way you hold in regards to the Shabbat. So it's either in both ways it's fine.
It's interesting, Rabbi. The more as we get deeper into this Masechet, I start questioning whether any Eruv could be valid. It's just, I mean, it's a very complicated subject. And so, you know, and I realize there are some people that take it very strictly, like, for example, your father, who's responsible for all the Eruvim in northern Israel, but he himself doesn't carry within the Eruv. So,
okay,
so we probably need the expert then to come in and help us with all of this. Make sure that everything is done the proper way.
Rabbi Weisblum Sr., your father,
my father?
the expert.
Yeah.
I mean, how many years has he taught this Masechet?
He taught Tractate Eiruvin for a few decades, every day, and that was his specialty.
But he himself personally is very strict about the use of an Eruv.
For his personal, yes, he always walked with talit.
Probably you could get us in line here in Annapolis, so we could able to have a good Eruv and able to fulfill.
Rabbi Heinemann is also very good.
Rabbi Heinemann, and we brought a team from Ner Israel, team that experts in Eiruvin to see it. Rabbi Sadi, all these great rabbanim, they came here and they check it. The point I try to say is there is a lot of restrictions to make it possible. It's the way that we can. My father, when he make those Eiruvin, it was for those people who needs to carry.
Right.
But there are many rabbanim that they can do a lot of leniency for everyone, but for themselves they are more strict.
Right, and also especially, I mean, with families with children, if they want to be able to, you know, go to the shul or something like that.
Yes, to carry.
That's important. I mean, I think to me that's more important than carrying a tallis. You can always wear a tallis, but if you want to, you know, if you want to take your kids, it's tough. So
you know, we it's important to have one that you can carry tallis, because living in America, it's not like in Israel and walking in some part of New York where you can walk with your tali on and don't have some reaction from the people.
I remember when we had
us.
that one doctor from the Navy who was here, and he didn't take his talis to the show on Friday night.
I remember.
And so what he did was, he basically, it was winter, so he could do this, so he put it on like a scarf. Like a scarf, and then put his coat over it, you know, and it looks just
from
like
Silver
a scarf.
Spring.
Yeah, from Silver Spring. So there's ways of doing it, especially in the winter. But you know, again, we see the same thing in Ner Israel, where that's clearly an Eruv. But when I was there for Shabbat, a vast majority of the people there wore their tallis too instead of carrying it, even though that's clearly an Eruv. So.
I put it on and then put on my coat over it.
Yeah,
it's sticking out all over. But
Bishlama de Reish Lakish lo kashya. We assume that it's not a contradiction in the word of Reish Lakish. Why? What he said in regard to Bikat Beit Chotan, it's his opinion. And in regards to the pe'ah, that's his Rebbe, his teacher, Rabbi Chanina. But meaning that Reish Lakish did not hold the same way. Ela de Rabbi Yochanan Kashya. But according to Rabbi Yochanan himself, he said it on behalf of himself and not opinion of others. If you go in the story of the mix in Bikat Bet Chotan, Al Gaban, because what they do, they put it on the top of the kundesim. So they put it on the top of the kundesim, that's fine. But here when you're talking that they put it from the side, shafir, so it's good that he only forbids when it's come to Shabbat that it's much, we hold much stringencies. But if you said that it's regardless, you put it from the side, how do you explain the contradiction in the word of Rabbi Yochanan? Because over there Rabbi Yochanan said that when you do it from the side, it's okay, but here he forbade it. So it has to be that this Tzurat HaPedach, that this entrance way, it's made on the top of this kundesin. So in that sense, you see this two field, and that's the way they did it. So they said, "Olam idi v'idi min hatzad." Hatam be'eser, hacha b'yoter me'eser. Over there we talk about 10 cubit, and here it's more than 10. Umenat teimra deshanelan ben eser liyoter me'eser. How do you know that we differentiate in regards to mix like kilaim between the 10 and more than 10? So דאמר לרבי יוחנן לריש לקיש, לא כך היה מעשה. The story wasn't like that. שהלך רבי יהושע, it's רבי יהושע בן חנניה, it's רבי יוחנן בן נורי ללמוד תורה, it was his rabbi. אף על פי שבקיא בהלכות כלאיים, even Rabbi Yoshua was very familiar in the law of the diverse כלאיים, diverse type of vegetables. So מצאו שיושב בין האילונות, he found רבי יוחנן בן נורי that sat between the tree, ומתח זמורה מאילן לאילן, ואמר לו, רבי, גפנים כאן מהו? He asked him, he did purposely the way that you see it, Rabbi Yoshua did it the way that you see it in our scenario, and he said, if he put this type of line between this, let's call this cucumber, and this, the vine, and he said, is that okay or not? So he said, ואמר לו רבי גפנים כאן, מהו לזרוע כאן? אמר לו ב10 אמות מותר, ב10 מותר, ביותר מ10 אסור. He showed him the scenario and he says up to 10 it's fine, 10 cubit, more than 10 not. ומה יסקינן? So not exactly what you're talking about. אילי על גבן, יותר מ10 אסור. If you tell me that he's to put it at the top of those trees, so therefore the Tzurat HaPetach, it's proper. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nori hold that more than 10 cubits is forbidden to plant other species in the other side of the entrance. Ve'atanya, we learned in the Braita, hayu sham kinim adokranim, if it was this is dokran. Dokran.
Tapered, yeah, tapered poles, yep.
They have tapered poles, ועשה להם פאה מלמעלה, and he tried to attach the two from the top.
Braided vine,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So they call dokar because it's like doker. It's put it down that sense. אפילו ביותר מ10 מותר. Even that is more than 10, it's okay. אלא לאו מן הצד, וכאמר לי ב10 מיותר, יותר מ10 אסור שמע מינה. He told him up to 10. So you learn that Rabbi Yochanan differentiate between kil'aim when it's come to 10 and more than 10. So if he made this Tzurat HaPedach from the side, then it's differentiate between 10 and up to. But Reish Lakish makes no difference, because Reish Lakish said that when it's come to diverse kind, even it's more than 10, it's fine. So that's basically the dispute between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish in regard to the Peah. But if he made this Tzurat HaPedach on the top of those kanim, so Rabbi Yochanan allow even more than 10. Gufa. Now we go back to our discussion in the previous page. אמר רב חיסדא, צורת הפתח שעשה מן הצד, לא עשה ולא כלום. If he made it צורת הפתח from the side is nothing. ואמר רב חיסדא, צורת הפתח שאמרו, צריכה שתהיה בריאה כדי להעמיד בדלת ואפילו דלת של קשים. This צורת הפתח, we're not talking about something that is light. You're putting a heavy duty materials, so it's to hold it, even דלת של קשים, even the light קשים. What did they say by you? What is it? The door of straw or something like that? Right. So
it said a door made of straw, they say although it is not necessary to actually attach a door, the Tzurat HaPedach must be able to serve as a door frame for at least a minimal door.
Okay.
Is what they say.
Another din in regard to צורת הפתח, אמר ריש לקיש משום רבי ינאי, צורת הפתח צריכה היכר ציר. מה היכר ציר? אמר רב אביה אבקתה. Okay, this is צורת הפתח. You have here אבקתה. It's like Rashi said, חור שציר הדלת סובב בו. You have a little hole in the ground that the foundation of the door running by this ground.
Okay.
So, in those days, Rashi said that it was a very small, tiny tzir, tiny hole in the ground, that even you don't need to have a physical door there, but they have to have Tzurat HaPetach, this entrance, proper to install door. That's what Rashi said.
Right, yeah, they said the Gemara refers to a door that swings on pegs extending from the door's top and bottom that are inserted into pivot holes in the lintel, and so Rav Yanai does not require that a door actually be installed, but only that a pivot hole be present to provide the potential for a door.
Okay. Ashkechinu Rav Ha'acha de Rav Avia Talmidei de Rav Ashi. They met the students. Amar Leu Rav Ha'acha said to the students, Amar Mar Midi Betzurat HaPetach. So the Rav Ashi said something new in regard to Tzurat HaPetach. Amru lei lo amar velo klum. So there are two ways. Or it didn't mean anything, or it means that that he doesn't hold the same as Reish Lakish. Now, not everyone hold that way. The Rosh hold that. They ask a question here. They want to know what exactly he meant when the Tzurat HaPetach. And they said I didn't understand that din. But anyway, Tana, צורת הפתח שאמרו, קנה מכאן וקנה מכאן וקנה על גביהם. When we talk about צורת הפתח, you need to have two kanim in both sides and one cross beam at the top. צריכים ליגה או אין צריכים ליגה. Which means, can we have space between them to the top or not? So the Shulchan Aruch Shin Samech Bet, the 362 said, so that's the whole idea of Gud Asik, that it has to be attached. Rav Nachman Amar En Tzech Liga, Rav Sheshan Amar Tzechim Liga. Machloket, one say yes, one say not. Azal Rav Nachman Vavad Uvda, Beir Eshkaluta Kishmata, is a story that he went to the house of the exilior, the one that was in charge, was the descendants of King David and was in charge there.
The Enzelarch, yeah.
Yeah, Enzelarch. So he made this Tzurat HaPetach in the way that the top, he did not touch to those on the bottom in order to allow carrying on the back of his home. Amar le Rav Sheshet that disagree, he said to his assistant, Le Shammai, Rav Gada, whose name is Rav Gada, Zil Shlof Shedinu, come and uprooted that part, which means that it's not proper. Azal Shedav Shedinu, Rav Gada went and uprooted those parts. Hashkachu deveresh galuta chavashu. So they saw what he's doing, so they put him in a jail. Azal Rav Sheshet Kama Baba. So there's a few versions what they do. He either use his connection or his authority or by himself. Amar le Gada puta. Gada coming out of the jail. Nafak ve'ata. He came and he went. So the servants thought that he uprooted by himself. He initiated that. But when they heard that Rav Sheshet commanded him, the Avet said the releasing. So Ashkech Rav Sheshet Rav Bar Shmuel, he saw Rav Bar Shmuel, Amar lei Neymar midi betzurat hapetach, that our Rebbe teach here in Halacha in the Tzurat HaPetach. So Amar lei ein, yes, Tanena, we learn in regard to Ilchot Mezuzah. So reef is mashmit, he take out this part. The Rosh have a big issue with the reef taking out this halachot, because he hold that he has to have a din heker tzir, that you have to see this part, the avkata, clear, visible. Nina, we learn in Ilchot Mezuzah, in the arched in the gateway, כיפה, רבי מאיר מחייב במזוזה וחכמים פותרים. רבי מאיר deem the owner obligates to have a mezuzah, and the sages deem that he is exempt. ושווים, both רבי מאיר and the sages agreed, שאם יש ברגליה 10, שהיא חייבת. So Rashi said, בגובה החלל, שיתחיל לעגל. You see what the size of this person? You see the petach. So when do you have to have mezuzah? This guy is most probably basketball player, let's say he's 6'5" high, and you have here this petach. So let's say this petach is what? 5'7"?
Something like that. Yep.
Okay, so you have here 10 from the bottom to here. So do we need to have mezuzah? So he said that if they have on the bottom 10, so you need to have a mezuzah.
So that must be your son Meir, huh? They're standing that tall.
Amar Avaye, Natan is also getting tall.
Is he? Good.
Hakol modim, even Rabbi Meir hold, im gvoha 10 tfachim ve'en beraglea 3. Abaye said that everyone's agreed that if the heights it's 10, but the bottom they don't have 3, it's not enough. You know, it's a very small, it's more than lavud, right? It's very little. So he said that everyone agreed, so that before we make it, iname yesh beraglea 3 ve'en gvoha 10 ve'lo klum. So, or if it's the opposite, if you have, but it doesn't reach the 10th, so again, you don't need to have mezuzah. Ki pligei, the big machloket is, ביש ברגליה 3 וגבוהה 10 ואין רחבה 4 ויש בה לחוק להשלימה ל4. So the issue is that you have the 3 tfachim here, you have the 4 here, and the place it's here. So the big question is if that's enough to require him to have a mezuzah. Rab Meir savar chokekin lehashlim. Rabbi Meir hold that it's like eye distance and 4, and therefore he needs to have mezuzah. It's only if this part will be completed, because the whole 3 tfachim, it's sufficient to make it mezuzah. I give you an example. Here in this picture, everybody agree that you don't have any foundation for mezuzah.
What's the height of the
Wow.
of the wall, the little walls?
I think an average person.
So it's less than 10 tfachim.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm
And you
just
don't have
wondering.
the 3
But that's the whole thing, is it's less than 10 tfachim.
Then you don't have 3 tfachim, so for sure you don't need to have mezuzah. ורבנן סברי אין חוקקים להשלים, and the sages said that we don't curve out the arch to complete the 4-hand breadth. So the sages hold that if they have the 10th, so before it reach the curve, that you have to put mezuzah. So they said, אמר לי רב ששת say לרב בר שמואל, אם משכחת לו לא תימה לו לביירש גלות, אבל לא מידי דעה מתנה דקיפה. So since I hold a different, it's not that you have he just he hold the same as Rav Nachman. Shulchan Aruch said it in the Shin Samech Bet 362 that it's come to Tzurat HaPetach, you don't need to have the top to hold the other sides, but they need to have mechuvan, that they have to match at the top. So he said here, the head of Reish Galula, you shouldn't tell him that what I said about the arch gateway, because it's against what I said. So he asked him not to refer it. But basically, if you look at those pictures, you understand that there is a certain minimum condition in order to make the mezuzah, and this is below the condition on both sides. Now we go to the Mishnah. So far, we just talk about the mavoi, but now we're going to a practical way of hechsher mavoi. How do you render the alleyway feet to one to carry out in Shabbat? So, introduction to the Mishnah. We shall know that again they are talking about a place that already they have Iruvei Chatzerot and Shitufei Meverot, which means they already set up the system between the people, and now they're talking about the alleyway. They want to make it kasher in order to carry inside on Shabbat. So the question is, what should we do? Beit Shammai omrim lechi vekora, ubeit Hillel omrim o lechi o kora. Beit Shammai said that you can have an option. Either you have lechi or you have a cross beam, which means you can have either one of the you should have both. You should have lechi and you should have the korah. That's Beit Shammai. Ubeit Hillel omrim o lechi o korah, either post or cross beam. Rabbi Eliezer omer lechayayin. Rabbi Eliezer holds that you need to have two posts in both sides. So it means Rabbi Eliezer did not have a third opinion. He just holds that the Beit Shammai's opinion, he wants to express it. That that's what the Ritva said, that it has to be two in both sides. Mishum Rabbi Ishmael amar Talmid echad lifnei Rabbi Akiva. One said name of Rabbi Akiva, לא נחלקו בית שמאי ובית הלל מבוי שהוא פחות מ-400. It's not a dispute if the alleyway is below than 4 cubits. שהוא ניתר או בלחי או בקורה, that it's enough to use either a post or קורה or cross beam. על מה נחלקו? What did they disagree? על רחב מ-400 ועד 10. If the alleyway is wider than 4 cubit and up to 10 cubit wide, שבית שמאי אומרים לחי וקורה, that בית שמאי said a post and a cross beam, ובית הלל אומרים או לחי או קורה, בית הלל said either one. אמר רבי עקיבא על זה ועל זה נחלקו. רבי עקיבא said that they have disagreement on both of these cases. In alleyway, less than 4 cubit wide, and about the case when the alleyway is between 4 and 10 cubit wide. So Beit Shammai said that if it's less than 4, it needs to have 2 lechis. And it's not enough to have either lechi or kura, it's not enough. That's what Rabbi Akiva holds. So the Gemara asks, Keman de lo kechanen velo ketanakama. So who is the Tana that holds this Mishnah that when you fix mavoi mefulash, you hold that that both sides needs to have a cross beam and lechi and the post. If you have mavoi that it's totally satum, which means that you take a regular mavoi and this part is blocked. So he said, Beit Shammai אומרים lechi vekora, ובית הלל אומרים או lechi או kora. Beit Shammai said you need to have both lechi and kora, both parts, in order to make it happen. Beit Hillel said either cross beam or lechi. So now we elaborate. Beit Shammai אומרים lechi vekora, למימרא דקסברי בית שמאי 4 מחיצות דאורייתא, which means that Beit Shammai hold that from the Torah the Reshut HaYachid is not below than 4 partitions. So therefore they need to have both post and a cross beam in order to make it a real petition. The Gemara rejected that and said no. By the way, they used the word the Torah, it means halacha Moshe Sinai. Like, no, they said no, lizrok mishalosh udemechayev letaltela deika arba. Which means if you throw it, so it's up to 3, but if it's carried, it's until they have 4 petition, 4 sides. Bet Hillel אומרים הולך או קורה, Bet Hillel said either post or crossbeam, לימה כסברי בית הלל 3 מחיצות דאורייתא. That you need to have, that's הלכה למשה מסיני, that the 3 petition is to be דאורייתא, which means that when it's come to mechitza, you have to have 3 lechi or korah, and reshut hayachid, the private domain, it cannot be less than 3 petition. Mar said no, lizrok mishtayim udemechayev letaltela deika 3. If it's throwing, so there's someone throw from reshut hayachid to a place that they have a petition around, so because it's a private domain and it's a biblical, so therefore you obligated him for carrying. But if he carries in a place that it's full, they have 3 mechitzot gmurot, 3 full petition, so even the 4th one can be anything like post or crossbeam, anything. So even a tikkun kal, a small tiny thing, make it possible. Rabbi Eliezer Omer lechayim. Rabbi Eliezer said that you need to have in both sides of the entrance. Ibaeleu. We ask a question. Rabbi Eliezer lechayim vekora kamar, or dilma lechayim belo kora kamar? That Rabbi Eliezer required to have a post, 1 post here and 1 post here, and or here and the crossbeam, or he meant to say a crossbeam without post without the crossbeam. Tashma Maser Rabbi Eliezer shalach es Rabbi Yossi ben Preda talmido. He went to his student. We go to 12 a little bit. 12 at the top of the page. Le'ovalin umatzo sheyoshev b'mavoi shelo lechi echad. He went to a city of Ovalin, and he saw his student that he dwell in an alleyway that have only 1 side post. Amar lo, Rabbi Eliezer said to him, Aseh lechi acher. He told him that my son set up another side post. Amar lo, Rabbi Eliezer responded to him and he said, Rabbi Yossi ben Preda said, V'chi lesotmo ani tzarich. Am I required to close it up? That you require that? Later we explain the question. Amar lo, yisatem u'ma bekach. He said, let us close up. What does it matter? So we don't have a time, but the Rashba explained that he need to tell him basically you should make either post or crossbeams, or two posts. But he responded, he said you should add to those who already existed. To sifala kayamim, you add to those who already existed. Amar Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel. Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel said, that's in Tosefta, לא נחלקו בית שמאי בית הלל על מבוי שהוא פחות מ-400. There's no controversy if it's a מבוי that is below than 4 cubits. שאינו צרוך כלום. You don't need anything to render it permitted for one to carry within it. על מה נחלקו? What is the disagreement? שבית שמאי אומרים לחי וקורה, you need to have post and a crossbeam, ובית הלל אומרים או לחי או קורה. But they said either one. קטן מיד, so we said in any case, וכי לסותמו אני צריך. רבי יוסף בן פרידה said to Rabbi Eliezer, do I need to seal it? היא אמרת בשלמה לחיים וקורה. If you said that you need to have two side posts and crossbeam, so the idea, משומח אמר וכי לסותמו אני צריך, for that reason the student said I am required to seal it. אלא היא אמר לחיים בלא קורה, but if you tell me that it needs to have just 2 posts without a crossbeam, so he said מה לסותמו, what exactly you mean to say to seal it? the entrance to the alleyway remains open from the top, from the above. So what's the purpose of that? Kamar, אחרי kamar v'chile sotmo belechayayin ani tzarich. So if the alleyway is so narrow that and they have two lechayim in both sides, so it's like they close the entrance, and the Yerushalmi said that they need to have in each post three tfachim, 3 handbreadth. So basically both lechayim, it looks like the Rashba said like close it. So he said, אמר רבי שמעון גמליאל לא נחלקו בשמאי ובית הלל על מבוי פחות מ-400 שלא צריך כלום. They didn't have a disagreement with the alleyway that is below than 4 cubits, that doesn't need anything in order to fix it. וענן תנן משום רבי ישמעאל אמר רבי תלמיד אחד לפני רבי עקיבא לא נחלקו בשמאי ובית הלל על מבוי שהוא פחות מ-400 שהוא ניתר בלחי או קורה. So the only thing they talk about mavoi that it's less than 4 cubits, that both hold that permitted either by side post or by cross beam. So it means that even Rabbi Ishmael hold that the dispute between Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel, it's the alleyway that is below than 4 amot, 4 cubits. He agreed that you need to have either post or cross beam. So how come Rabbi Shimon Gamliel said that you don't need anything? Amar Ravashi Achi Kamar. Ravashi said that's what Rabbi Shimon Gamliel meant. If you have an alleyway that is less than 4 cubits, אינו צריך לחי וקורה כבית שמאי. He does need side post and a cross beam according to the opinion of Beit Shammai, and nor ולא לחיים כרבי אליעזר. Nor that's required 2 side posts the way that Rabbi Eliezer said. But everyone agree, אלא או לחי או קורה כבית הלל, either post or cross beam according to the way that Beit Hillel said. So, not tzarich klum, meaning it doesn't need to have any repair, any changes, the way that they said. V'kama, what's the length? How big if you required? That since it's below than 4 cubits, it still need to have some type of repair. What type? Amar Rav Achlei, v'yitem Rav Yechiel ad 4. So he said up to the width of 4 handbreadth, the alleyway required nothing in order to render it permitted for one to carry with it. So otherwise you don't need carry it. And basically the big chidush that even this alleyway, it's a 4x4 and it's considering a private domain, but doesn't need to have any modification, because the entrance doesn't have the length, the width of 4 handbreadth. First halacha is pitchei shima'ei. So we said here that if you have a broken entrance, so in a broken entrance there is the issue of tzurat hapetach. So if you have the regular tzurat hapetach is one thing. But if it's a broke, it's a question if it's considering. Another is the form of doorway that is constructed so that the horizontal cross beam is on the side rather than on the top. So the 2 vertical posts is not considered the form of a doorway with regard to halachot of Shabbat. That's the opinion of Rav Chizda. We say that also when it's come to a doorway, the halachic form of a doorway must be sturdy enough. In other words, there has to have the strength to support an actual door, even if it's made out of a straw. So it's that's applied. The Yerushalmi said that only to the doorpost. The horizontal cross beam that serves as a lintel of the door frame need not touch to a vertical post, even if it is several cubits higher than them, it is permitted as long as the crow's beam is positioned directly above them. The halacha is the opinion of Rav Nachman, since the Braita concerning and the arched gateway supports his opinion. We also discussed today just a little bit in the case of Kil'ain, and we said that when you have a diverse kind, so they sometimes we hold in halacha that the diverse kind, as long as you make some type of separation between the two, if you do it properly as Tzurat HaPetach and it's clear that it's separate, so you can use this as a mashkof, as a petition.